Hey everybody, Tony D with another hot take. And what is there in the news? I wonder what's in the news. So many things to choose from. Let me just choose one at random. Coronavirus. Yeah, there we go. No one's talking about anything else other than coronavirus. However, here's my slant on it for today. I'm going to be making some predictions. To update you briefly, sorry, Corey, in New Jersey, 742 cases at this juncture, so that was a bit of a leap. I didn't think we'd be to 1,000 until after the weekend. It looks like we're going to hit it before tomorrow, probably because of increased testing. You're going to see an incredible spike. Don't panic if you're in New Jersey or anywhere else. We've had 9 deaths. 3 of the deaths were very tragic. A family that had gotten together, a family of 7, I think. Turns out they all got the coronavirus, and I believe 3 of them are now dead, and the other 4 are in the hospital. So very tragic. The ages were like 73 and 2 in their 50s, around that area. So it just goes to show you should be careful. You should try to stay home if you can. I know that's not possible for some people. It's tough. This whole situation's going to be tough on everyone. But if you can, stay home. There is an optimism bias, as Tim Pool talks about, and it's easy to get caught up in that. The optimism bias is it's not going to happen to me. There are serial killers, but I'm not going to be killed by one. There are terrible things that happen, but it's not going to happen to me. That just happens to other people. I'm guilty of it too. The thing is, the coronavirus is different because of the way it's transmitted. I'm not going to go over that again. I've gone over it several times. If you don't know it by now, go back and look at my other videos or look at something online. You should be caught up by now. People are still going out. It infuriates me. I just watched Slightly Offensive, which is one of my YouTube programs that I like to watch. And the host, he went out and he interviewed people on the street. No mask, no nothing. He was pretty close to him. I mean, come on, dude. You shouldn't be doing that now. You should definitely not be doing that. Definitely not in the California area where, he's in Los Angeles and it is going to get crazy there. Now people are I think they're scaremongering a bit. They're saying, well, it's going to change the face of the world forever, and we could head into an economic depression, and look at people are buying guns, and there's no more food, and look out. Look, this is a huge disruption, no doubt. You should be cautious, no doubt. Are we all going to starve? No, I don't think so. You certainly should be checking in on loved ones and making sure everybody's safe and secure. If you don't have any kind of security, you should be making sure your doors and windows are locked and all that good stuff. Because, look, when the food runs out, and for some people the food will run out sooner than others, people get a little nuts. And they may try to do things. They may steal packages off your porch. They may try to break into your house and get your stuff. Be smart about it. Lock your doors and windows. Don't leave things open. If you have a security system, use it. Don't speak to the universe and tell them, I'm sitting on a bunch of money and food. I'm fine. No, don't announce that to people. I'm not, by the way. I have no money and just enough food for me and the dog. So don't come over here. I can't help you. But, you should be wary. You shouldn't be encouraging any kind of human contact anyway. So if someone comes to your door, don't open it. Talk through the door. There are some articles today about some people are running to the banks. this is an idiotic thing to do in the United States for a few reasons. Number one, most accounts are insured by the FDIC, and the FDIC basically backs up all the accounts up to $250,000. So, unless you've got millions of dollars, you don't really have anything to worry about. And if you do have millions of dollars, odds are you're divested in a lot of stocks, which currently aren't worth that much money. Um, or you may have bought the right stocks, like, I don't know, the hand wipe company, and you're rolling in it. But either way, you shouldn't be touching that. People are taking out gobs of cash. Look, here's the thing about gobs of cash in a crisis like this. If the banks and the economy collapsed, do you really think money's going to be worth much of anything? Look, I'm a bit of a doomsayer. I like to think of myself as a bit of a prepper, and I like to ruminate on various scenarios in my head, and I often ruminate about the zombie apocalypse or the end of society and economics. If society is going to collapse, the number one enemy is panic. It's idiots who think things are further along than they are, so they try to rob places or do things. That's why everybody's like freaking out and trying to get a gun in California. You don't have to worry about that just yet if you're lying low and minding your own business. Some people are going to do some things, but ultimately taking your money out of the bank isn't going to be any good, because if society collapses and we're truly in a worldwide economic collapse, it's likely the dollar will collapse before the banks stop giving you paper money to go spend it, or that you'll have the paper money, but nothing will be open, or they won't have anything. The shelves will be clear, because at the end of the day, the people who get served first are the people who, have the guns, and that will include most of the cops and the army, and to some extent the hospitals and EMTs. They're all first in line. After that, maybe you got some wiggle room if you're a rich guy, but if paper money really isn't getting you anywhere, then how rich are you really? So for all these people and their high-minded, I've got money, and money talks, it kind of doesn't talk if society collapses, because without society, the currency isn't worth anything, and so then you got to rely on other forms of currency. We're not anywhere near that yet. Look, this is a pandemic. It's bad. There's a virus. People are going to die. People are going to be quarantined. It will seem like a lot of people, and certainly if you know somebody, that'll be way too many people for you. But understand your odds of survival are very high. Above, even for the people who are in danger, it's above 90%. So 90% is very high. As someone who played Dungeons and Dragons for many years, if you got a 95% chance of surviving something, you take that roll. So it's a no-brainer. So most people will be fine. Now, some people, they're going to suffer. Maybe they have to go in the hospital. 20% of the people who get this go to the hospital. They're going to be on a ventilator. They'll be miserable. They'll be taking drugs, and it's going to suck. I'm not saying it's not going to suck. And in fact, I read about a couple of cases in California. There's already been reinfections, which does not bode well, but they were talking about this. A couple of people being reinfected is not a good thing. So you should be very wary of that. However, there is some good news. They're talking about this drug that normally is used to treat malaria. It's very cheap. It's very plentiful. It's already out there. So they are doing the tests they need to do, and hopefully within the coming weeks, we're going to know that that's a good treatment for this virus, and maybe people will get better a lot quicker. So in terms of the economic turn, it's not you got to worry about your health first. Okay. Yes, the economics you got to worry about to some extent. You know, you should have, hopefully most of you have some kind of savings. Look, I'm just as guilty as everybody else, living paycheck to paycheck, but you know, you should be able to last, I don't know, a few months at least. You know, do the math, check your bank account, cut your overhead, you know, cancel your Hulu subscription that you never watch. Cancel things that are monthly payments that are just luxury items. Just cancel them. You know, a lot of guys are saying comic book stores are going to go down the tubes because that's one of the first things people cancel. They canceled their comic books. Oh, don't buy. I mean, don't buy your comics. What can I say? If you're that tight for money, you shouldn't be buying comics in the first place. If you're on the bubble like that, living paycheck to paycheck, you shouldn't be buying comics. You shouldn't have a Hulu subscription or. These are all luxury items. You got to cut back your phone bill, cut back your cable TV. I turned mine off because I was so broke. You know, just cut back. You know, even if it only saves you like 50, kill your Xbox Live. I mean, if you got it, you got it. Maybe you want to keep it this month, but you know, if you have to cut back, do it. Try to get your money back if you can. If you can't, well, you know, just suck it up. Just don't spend any more. You know, you have to spend within your means, especially now. If things go down the tubes, like to the point at which, you know, money's worthless, or the banks, you can't get your money out of the bank, you got bigger problems. You got bigger problems. And I will tell you that because people continue to ignore the quarantine, the self-quarantine, people who have the friggin' coronavirus ignore the quarantine. People are still out on vacation. I mean, who are these lunatics who went on vacation? If I had a vacation scheduled anywhere close to this, I would have canceled it immediately. Why would you risk it? Why would you want to be in a hospital in another state, far from your family, feeling like you're going to die? And there is a small percentage of people who will die, regardless of their age. It's a very tiny percentage. It's less than 1%, depending on your age. You know, for older people, it's higher. But you know, why would you want to risk that? That's a idiotic risk, in my view. But people are stupid. I mean, on the slightly offensive video, I had to turn it off. At one point, he's interviewing somebody on the street, and it's just a couple of knuckleheads who said, "Oh, we're going. You know, none of the stores are open. We kind of wish they were open. We're just window shopping." You know, and they stopped to talk to this guy. I mean, you should be inside, dummies. Because if you get coronavirus later because you were on the street talking to this guy or whomever you were talking to, I think you're going to be saying to yourself, God, why did I do that? I mean, I've tried very hard to isolate myself and keep myself from getting the coronavirus. That doesn't mean I'm clear. I'm going to try to spend the next 2 weeks without leaving the house. And fingers crossed, I don't have anything. But it's also allergy season for me. So it's a little, you know, every cough and sneeze, I'm like running to take my temperature and you know, thinking about writing out my will. So I'm a bit of a hypochondriac. You may not be as germ-phobic as me, but look, what's it going to cost you? It's going to cost you 2 weeks in the house. Who cares? What are you doing that's so damn important that you want to risk? Look, you may not even be risking your own life. Odds are you're not. But if you're carrying this disease, you're spreading it. You're spreading it to other people. Stop. Just stay home. Just go on the internet. There's tons of internet. Go to the Webcomic Factory at thewebcomicfactory.com and read my webcomics. That'll kill like half a day, minimum. Maybe 2 or 3, depending on how fast you read and what you like. Go to superfrat.com. Read the Superfrat comic. We're up to over 1,300 strips at this point. I mean, you know, there are plenty of things you can do on the internet. That's just my 2 sites. There are millions of websites out there with videos and things to read and explore. I mean, you go down the rabbit hole, I'm sure, as some of you have, and learn some crazy things and then send me an email like, hey, look at this crazy thing, and I'll just be like, uh-huh. But, you know, at least your brain will be occupied. That's better than going outside and risking this. Okay, don't be selfish. Stay home. Just stay home, and don't get crazy. Don't think about it. If you're upset by the coronavirus that much, do what I did the other day. Take a day off from it and just don't even think about it. Just tune it out. I know it's very depressing, but you know, for me, I think I got a pretty good handle on it. I'm checking on my family, calling them regularly, making sure everybody. So far, nobody's sick. I don't know about the extended family. I don't think so. I haven't heard. Usually, my mom's pretty good about updating me on that. Unfortunately, a lot of my relatives are in the very South Jersey region, either in the Pinelands or Pinelands adjacent, certainly. And that's more sparsely populated. So they don't, you know, where my folks live, you got to drive to get to the store. There's no, you know, there's next door neighbors, but you got to walk, you know, at least a couple of blocks. They're a couple of fields away. So there's distance. And, you know, if you're in Philly, you're actually in pretty good shape right now. There's only been, I think, like 132 cases. So it's not too bad in Philly. In New York, it's exploding. I please be safe, New Yorker buddies. But you really, really should be staying home. Look, I'm ordering stuff on Amazon. They're still shipping stuff. I got some stuff today. You know, you can still get some food. Order it up. I mean, look, you can't order everything at Amazon. You're gonna have to order stuff that you can afford and that'll keep a long time. So order some canned goods. Order some tuna fish and, you know, some mayo, whatever you need, whatever you like on your tuna or whatever. You know, maybe some olive oil with a little flavoring of some kind. You know, eat healthy. You know, take it as a time to eat super healthy, shrink your stomach a little bit, and you know, you'll be good. You'll be good at the end of this. I don't think there was a coronavirus press conference today, so that's kind of a good sign. But you know, the mechanisms are rolling. Looks like they're gonna send us $1,200 or whatever. I still say that's a bad idea, but I'm gonna take my $1,200. You know, I need it, but you know, I wasn't dependent on it. I have other avenues, but I'll certainly take it. I'll take my unemployment. I don't care. I'm a libertarian, but hey, I'm also the guy who had to pay taxes. So, you know, I'm going to take advantage of my taxes as much as possible. Yeah, you can call me a hypocrite. Don't get into that discussion. That's for another video. Yeah, again, don't run to the bank and withdraw thousands of dollars. I mean, you probably should have some money on you, but don't get nuts. What are you going to do with thousands of dollars? The stores are closed and nobody has anything. What are you going to do? Bribe somebody to go get you food? You're better off. Money isn't even worth the paper it's printed on now. It's all about what's electronically available to you. So if you've got a credit card and an access to Amazon, you know, you're set. And there's all sorts of other websites. I was trying to find cheese online. That was, you know, it's a little expensive, but you know, if you got money, you could order cheese all day. I can't order it; it's too expensive. It's like $10 a pound just to get some regular damn cheese. But you know, I'll figure out something eventually, or I'll just go without cheese. I mean, I'm not gonna die without cheese. I'll be annoyed, but I won't die. So there was plenty of other things at Amazon I could order and eat. So you know, just everyone calm down. It's gonna be okay. But please stay home. Just stay home. This is a perfect time to watch Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul and all the good TV shows you forgot to binge watch. Watch them and just stay home.